We are here to commemorate ANZAC Day. Those who served and those lost in 1915 and the 3 further years of war until 1918. Those who served and died 30 years later in the Second World War, and those who have been lost in conflict since 1945 to the present day.
To honour the soldiers from Australia, New Zealand and the Royal Newfoundland Regiment who served at Gallipoli. And this, of course, is to reflect on the terrible losses that the battle brought to that conflict.
It is dedicated to the cherished memories of Australians, New Zealanders, Canadians, Turkish, as well as 50 other nation soldiers who took part in the Gallipoli campaign and made the ultimate sacrifice. I would like to once again remember the memories of all fallen during the Gallipoli campaign. Thank you very much.
Today was the 102nd anniversary and commemoration of the landing of the ANZAC forces. That's the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. The forces themselves landed in ANZAC Cove, otherwise known as Gallipoli and Tunic Bear, in 1915. It was part of the opening of a fourth front in order to defeat the German military forces and Allied and Axis forces, which also included Ottoman and Turkish soldiers.
Well, I think it's so important, and I'm so delighted to actually feel a part of this service, that there's so many people from Australia and New Zealand. I think that's terribly important. But I think the most important thing I'm learning is that it's the young people that are getting involved in this, and this is to me what it's all about. I think it's wonderful that the people do come together like this. I have to say that the laying of the wreaths, I think it's so important.
Seeing the young children and the seniors here and just being able to share this part of history with people was just incredible, and I'm so appreciative that I was able to participate today. Well, I think it was such an important part of Canada's history and our allied forces with New Zealand and with Australia, and to be able to learn that little piece of history I think is really important, and to be able to expose our children to it and just share the stories is so powerful.
Everywhere you go in New Zealand there are cenotaphs standing up in major cities, smaller cities, and in tiny little towns in the middle of nowhere. And on each of these cenotaphs there's between 5 and 15 names. And these places are rural and there's not much to them. And these are the people that the community lost to the First World War and again in the Second World War. It means a great deal that people bother to come out and commemorate the guys that are gone. A former soldier, when you're in the uniform, the worst thing that I could ever imagine would be to be forgotten. It's the worst.